You're tuned in to Shake, Rattle, and Goal, the official podcast of your Springfield Thunderbirds.
Pekka's there on the backhand, scoring the save, rebound in the crease, they score!
Hosted by Matt Baker and Steve Forney. A show that's everything Springfield hockey, with interviews including players, coaches, and staff.
The Springfield Indians repeat as the Calder Cup champions.
Listen to this podcast on all major streaming platforms and wherever you download podcasts.
In his first year at the helm, Kevin McDonald and Drew Bannister have the Teamers in the Calder Cup Finals.
Watch the podcast on the official Shake, Rattle, and Goal YouTube page at SRG Podcast. And now, here are your hosts, Matt Baker and Steve Forney. And this episode number 2 of season 3 of the Shake, Rattle, and Goal podcast is proudly brought to you by our friends at TDS Center for Communications and Social Learning in Amherst, by our friends at MassCon United Training Center in Agawam, and our fan rant section is brought to you by our friend at Landscaping That Fits. Nice to have Rob back for another year alongside Matt Baker. I'm Steve Forney. What's up, Matt?
How we doing, Steve? How's everything? We're busy here. Had a nice day off, but busy. How about you guys?
Well, it's same. It's like you get a 3-day weekend, you're working.
Yeah.
And we were painting. We had a dumpster come this weekend. We're not messing around, and I know you weren't either. Just house projects forever.
Yeah. Trying to finish the basement. I think I talked about it last year on the podcast. So hopefully, this background right now, it's my kid's school office. But hopefully, within the next few weeks to months, depending how paychecks divvy out, right, I should get my basement finished up and have a nice little studio made for the show. So
love it.
So we're hoping.
Love it. So here we are. Season has started. 1 game done. And I got to be honest, I wish we had more games to talk about. We have one game, 60 minutes, didn't work out well for us, and that's sort of what we have to go off of. But I don't know, Matt, first impressions on you were in the building on Saturday night, so your first impressions on everything, I guess.
Listen, everything, the good, bad, and everything. And Steve, I do want to say I agree with you 100%. It's one game. There's a reason why we don't do 72 episodes. We watch all the games. We could critique all the games. We don't. It's hard. It's really hard. And I want to make sure, I'm probably going to say this a lot today. I try not to overreact one way or the other. But we're only commenting on one game. So take that for what it's worth. Look, I think ice looked great. Jerseys looked great.
Nice.
I loved the player introductions. I like that little
guy sounded all right.
Yeah, he did. He did well. Good job with all the names. I thought there were some good things. There were some red flags. And again,
let's get to the good stuff. Let's get to the good stuff. Give me your red flags. What do you got for red flags? Let's get to the good stuff.
Red flags. So it was game 1, but we talked about this last week. It kind of was game, 72 regular season games, 3 against Providence, 75s. It was game 76 of this core and coach. And it was game 1 of this season, but some of the defensive struggles remained. My big red flag was their inability to clear the puck out of the defensive zone. It's not just the shots. It wasn't just the shots, but their inability to just move the puck cohesively into the neutral zone, even if it doesn't even have to go all the way into your attack zone. They just really struggled, and it wasn't because of Charlotte's forecheck. It wasn't. It was because of a bad pass or a no pass. Like, there were times where, and I do apologize, it's hard. I'm sure it's tough for you, Steve, with all these defensive players. You got number 6.
Oh my goodness, they're 6, 7, 8, 9.
8, 9, right? So it's really hard to when I'm watching the game and trying to take it all in, like, who was that? So I apologize for that. I won't have specific players to call out, but I like there were times where defensive players were just kind of like sitting there waiting for the puck to get to them, and I'm like, no, like get the puck, receive the pass, make another, like make an exit pass, and so that is my biggest red flag. I 100% think it's all correctable. And so that was my biggest red flag, is just their inability to clear the puck out of their D zone.
Yeah, I guess my thing is that what I saw last season that I didn't like, I saw again. And so the slingshot entry on the power play, which I hate, we're doing that again. The shot total, again, 2-1. And I know what you were talking about was a little different, but even so I'd be honest, I didn't see a lot of the goals just because I'm working. Opening night, so that first goal, like I had all those reads to do. I had all that pregame stuff. I'm like finally taking a breath, looking at my script. Where are we? Boom, goal scored. I'm like, what just happened? Now I got it right now. I don't get to watch replays of goals because I got to write down, okay, what was it? What time was it?
I'll talk about that, but I'll let you finish.
So yeah, I never really get to see. So I watched back earlier today, just the game recap, which the Thunderbirds put out, and every team puts it out. I think every home team has put it out. The Thunderbirds is by far the best. And I'm not just saying, but I watch these other teams' game recaps. I'm like, this is trash. Like, where's the commentary? Where's the camera angles? Where is it? Before we can even talk about passing the puck, we have to talk about getting the puck. And that Skinner turnover to lead to the first goal was brutal. And the Bushinger, should have Zarenko. One goal went really short side on Zarenko.
Yep.
Should he have had it?
3.
Probably.
Goal 3.
Was Bushinger? Did Bushinger? The puck came right to Bushinger, and he kind of fanned at it, missed it.
Yep.
They got it. They shoot and score. That's not on Zarenko. That puck needs to be received by us and out of the zone. So, I think when we look at the forward group, and we talked a little bit about this last week, the forward group is nasty, top to bottom. I think that we're loaded. I'm very concerned about the defense because I think the defense on paper, when Corey Schooneman is your third pairing defenseman, you're good.
Yep.
Right? Why are we not seeing the talent translate into on-ice production? And so, again, it's one game. That's my concern. Is I know Skinner and Schooneman and Loof, and I'm pretty sure Lindstein, like these guys are all good. So, like, let's go, fellas. Let's figure it out. And, oh, by the way, now Z just lost Ellis. Why would you put the poor goaltender in a hole 15 seconds in because you couldn't control the pass?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people like, oh, the goalie stinks. The goalie, I think the goalie's good, but you can't be fanning at pucks right in front of the net. You can't be turning it over and putting it in the goalie's skates right in front of the net 15 seconds into the game. So yeah, there's definitely a little frustration there, but I don't, this is not, my biggest takeaway is that I am not blaming any of this on Zarenko, number one. And number two, I'm glad they came back and made it a game because they battled really hard the last two periods. Unfortunately, you got yourselves in a 3-0 hole.
So let me completely piggyback off of both of those 2 points. I'm going to comment on all 4 of those goals. I had great perspective where we were sitting. We got the seat upgrade.
Yeah, the seat upgrade.
So that was
up on
awesome.
the Jumbotron.
Yeah, that was fantastic. We're sitting up there pregame, and all of a sudden, one of the interns comes up. Hey, how about a seat? Yes, that's awesome. So that was so
PSA,
cool.
I had nothing to do with it, Matt, our relationship. I wasn't like, hey, give Matt the upgrade. I just don't want people coming up to me going like, hey, you gave Baker the seat upgrade. Can I have the seat upgrade? I had nothing to do with it.
I don't even think that kid knew who I was. I had to write my names down. Nobody knew. Listen, we've been to the Thunderdome plenty of times, right? So, I had to write my name down for the kid, and Kevin had to. I just want to double check here your name so I get it right on the. So this was on the up and up. It was completely random, unexpected, very cool. But we were sitting second row right behind the Thunderbirds. So, first goal. What actually happened, Loof was starting. He had gotten hit in the throat I don't know if it was a stick, an elbow, or I didn't see what happened, but I did see him rush off to the bench. And I don't want to make it sound too dramatic, but was kind of like out of breath, like, and kind of like
gasping.
I got hit in the throat. Skinner was mid-sentence with the coach when all of a sudden he had to hop over the boards to get in.
All right, yeah. So I got the game highlights pulled up. So I think it was the puck. I think the puck caught him right in the right. So he was right in front of our bench, which is good.
Yeah,
for the change. But yeah, I think he got the puck right. Yeah, it looks like right.
I couldn't tell. Right. So Loof had gotten hit in the throat. And again, it's at the end of the day, it's inexcusable. And Skinner had a really bad first 5 minutes of this game. But I don't like Skinner was kind of like, oh, I'm popping over the boards and I'm in. I don't think he needs to be, but I don't think he was ready to play because all of a sudden now he's hopping over the boards. He's locating the puck. He's behind the goal. He's standing he's right behind the goal. Zarenko passes it off to him. And then Skinner gets his stick lifted, gets his stick back on the puck and bounces it off of Zarenko's skate. So, you hope that now these are lessons that should be learned. The second that puck drops, you've got to be engaged into the game. Skinner was mid-sentence with one of the assistant coaches.
That's interesting.
When he was hopping over the boards, though. So by no means, like, he had to find the puck, locate, and situate. And I think that's what he was doing, which is why he kind of had that little mental lapse there. So that was the first goal. The second goal was a power play goal. And I will say, I'm completely in agreement with you. It's very easy for somebody to look at the box score and say, Z let up 3 goals in the first period. It wasn't his fault, but I do think he was a bit slow laterally, and he found himself away from the pipes a lot, and I think I've never played goalie, but I do know you kind of look for that post to get you to the other side. So if he's a little bit in front of his crease on that second or the second goal, the first power play goal, he was wicked late getting back laterally. So just slow laterally. You would hope, the penalty kill.
In his defense, he didn't have a stick, so he lost the stick. So he had to scramble to pick up the stick, find the puck, post to post. And like, this is the kind of thing that when I talk about the power play, like, their goaltender was 6'8". We were calling him the Walrus. The guy, you remember that Geico commercial? There's a walrus. That's what that was. Do you know how you beat a goalie like that? You move the puck laterally. And so whether they're 6'2" or 6'8", if you can move the puck laterally, you can score. And so that's a step further. That to me is a defensive breakdown by the Thunderbirds. Why is Charlotte zipping the puck across the offensive zone, and then we get in the zone and it's just kind of standing there?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
So like, we didn't score because we didn't move the puck laterally. They did score because they were able to do that, and our D couldn't stop them.
Our power play moves the puck vertically a lot, where they look to get it down and then get it back up and then they get it back down. We kind of miss that zigzag skip pass where we're moving it down low laterally. And again, it's one goal, but and I don't like saying, well, last year we didn't do it. This is a new year, right? So I do kind of, like to turn the page, but we can only say what we saw. And so
right.
That was the second goal. The third goal, 100% agree with you. I think it was Buchinger. The puck, he had an opportunity to gain possession of the puck and potentially clear it, and he whiffed and then stood and watched and was late to close out on that player too. And then I do think, though, Z, again, needs to hug the post a little bit. It was still savable.
It was.
If he gets his shoulder against the post, which from what I understand should be proper technique, it's probably a save, but at the same time, it's not a save he needed to even make.
No,
if Buchinger makes a standard play to the puck, he gains possession. That never happens. And then the fourth goal, later in the second period.
I was gonna say I got
Another
to keep
power
up.
play goal.
I got the highlights here, so I got to keep up because I don't remember the fourth. Again, I never get to see the goal. So anyway, you keep talking.
That was just, again, another power play goal where Charlotte's moving the puck laterally, and I think if I remember correctly, Z was again just a little late, getting back across the crease. So all that being said, those you gave up 4 goals, and again, let's give credit to the Charlotte Checkers. They are the defending Eastern Conference champions. You gave up 4 goals to a good team, and it's all correctable mistakes. So I'm just saying, after one game, we can talk about what we saw. And for me, I'm putting that, all right, these are the things that need to be corrected. Let's see if they get corrected. I like Connor Walchuk, but you got to coach this team. And, I think for me personally, maybe not everybody has expectations of this team. I do. So if expectations are going to be met, these mistakes have to be cleaned up, because it's game 1 of this season, but it's game, what did I say, 76 together. Like, I clear the puck, guys. You know what I mean? So, but your second point that you made after that, after was they did battle back, and you're down 3-0. You get 2 good goals, quick goals, from Stenberg and Luff. And Luff's coming to the bench saying, let's go. You never, and again, from my vantage point, 2 rows behind the bench, there was never panic. There was never chaos on the bench. It was all positive. It was keep grinding. I think they recognized these are fixable things, guys. Let's just, let's get into it. And you hope as the season goes on, they don't need to wait until the second period to kind of get into it. They can get moving. I will say, and I sent this to you in the middle of the game, dude. Black, Checkers goalie, is 6'8" when he's slouched over. That dude's a monster. Like, he's just big,
huge.
For me,
doesn't even have to be good when you're that big. You can just be big.
You really don't. I mean, and I'm not trying to take anything away from him. The dude's got great numbers. I think he was a 2 goals against average last year, and 900 save percentage. So he's a good player. It looked to me like in the first period, McGing and Lindstein, who I really liked.
I did too.
I thought Lindstein played really well. They had like these little breakaway plays. He went down early, Black, the goaltender. Sorry, I got to take a drink.
Yeah, no worries. No worries.
He went down early, and they did have, I think it was his, I forget what side was his glove hand, but the right upper corner of the goal was open. And that's where they were shooting. They were trying to lift the puck. And I think if you keep it on net, those are 2 goals. They missed the net on both of those opportunities. So again, little things like that. If you put one of those on goal, it's a goal, because he went down early and there was no way he was getting his shoulder up. So, them be the breaks in sports, right? But overall, it was sloppy defensive play, and they fought through. They battled back. They took their man advantage in the third period, and congratulations to Juraj Pekarczyk on his first AHL goal.
Nailed the pronunciation.
Like that,
Nailed
right?
it.
I listened to you. You taught me well. So congratulations to him. He gets a goal. And look, I think if your contributors are Otto Stenberg and Pekarczyk, the rest of the guys will come along, I would expect, right? And, so it's not all doom and gloom after one game. I think the fact that they battled back, they weren't negative, they kept pushing through, I think are good signs for this team.
I mean, you love to see that Matt Luff goal.
Yes.
Because that was, again, if you're a Charlotte fan, you're looking at that goal going, what the heck are our guys doing? Because that puck, Black pulled it off the line, and then the defenseman's just kind of standing there looking at the goalie's standing there looking at the defenseman, and Luff just comes in and is like, thank you, and scores. Yep. I mean, that was awesome.
Yeah.
But we do, folks, we got to keep in mind that this has been one game. They don't play again till Saturday. They had 2 preseason games. And for both of those preseason games, half the roster was still in St. Louis.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, the amount of guys, I'm not going to do the math, but the amount of guys that played in that preseason game number 2 in Springfield against Providence that were still here for the game the other night was slim. I mean, it was slim, right? So like, especially guys you're counting on. So this is definitely going to be a feeling out process. I think the first 4 or 5 games, and it's going to take them a while. I'm kind of glad the schedule is what it is, because this is going to allow for a lot of practice time for them to kind of figure this out. You know, and yeah, there were there were a couple of moments where you could tell these new guys were like, whoa, like, wow, like this, like Uri Pekarchik took a hit in the first period that was like, welcome to the league, kid, where he just, you know, eyes were down, looked up, boom, and he got smoked. But then he comes back and, you know, ends up getting a goal at the beginning. So, you know, I don't know. I look at it as like, and again, just a simple stat. All right. First period, they were outshot 16-9. That's a 7-shot advantage. Period 2, they were outshot 15-10. That's a 5-shot advantage. Third period, they outshot Charlotte by 5.
Yeah.
So they got progressively better as the game went on. And I think that's what's going to happen when you have a group that hasn't played a lot together, when you have emotions super high in the building, a different environment, a different building. Some of these guys have never played in. And that goes for guys like Wagner too.
Yeah.
So, you know, so it is what it is, right? All we have is the one game, as I keep saying. And I think there was some good and some bad to come out of it. I will say there were some guys that, like, because I texted you this and you kind of were like, no, he's doing all right. But like Matthew Pekka to me was sort of, I didn't really see him a lot. He didn't jump off the page for me. And you were like, well, he had a couple chances. Even somebody in the headset was like, wow, he had a near miss early in the game. I think maybe hit the post or just missed the post.
Yeah, he had 2 near misses for goals. I don't think like him, that top line of Pekka, Nicky, and Luff, even though Luff had a goal, I don't think they were as dominant as that's probably the wrong word to use, you know, but just as settled as I would have liked them to be. They didn't really have too many shifts or sequences where you were like, that's the best line on the ice, right? So I do agree with that. I think that should come again, but like, that's where I'm kind of like, yeah, it is game 1, but not for these guys.
It's true.
Not, you know, so again, that's a little, but, you know,
and at the same time, I thought that third line with that Peterson, McGing, was it Stenberg, Koskamaki?
No, line 2 was Devo, Kaskamaki, and Wagner. Line 3 was McGing, Peterson, and Stenberg.
Yeah, that third line to me was hot, man. They were awesome. They were flying around. McGing was everywhere, hitting stuff. Dylan Peterson, I sort of didn't see. I know McGing got boarded pretty bad. And that was when McGing took that, or Dylan Peterson took the matching roughing.
Yes.
And he was in the penalty box with this guy, like, oh, let's go. You got to pay for it. And I missed the play. I'm like, is he just like really angry or like really fired up? Like, what's the deal here? And then, oh, he got boarded. Yeah, you got to kind of own up to it. And I was kind of joking. I don't think that the guy he was challenging in the penalty box spoke much English. So that could have been a part of it too. Where this guy's like, what are you yelling at me? I don't understand you. There could have been some of that too. But I just thought that line, and obviously Stenberg got a goal there as well late. So I don't know. Yeah, I needed more from the top 2, but I really liked what I saw from the bottom 2 lines.
I'll say this. I do think there wasn't a lot of goal production from that second line, but I was really impressed with Wagner. I thought there were times, again, like I thought he should have had check of the game. I know McGing's hit was nice too, but that hit that Chris Wagner had in the first period, I thought was check of the game. He was throwing his body around. And there were times when I thought he was the best player on the ice. I saw Devo a few times winning challenging the puck on the boards and coming away with it and winning it. I think those little things, as fans, we often, well, how many goals to score, how many points you have, right? That's what we measure. How many points per game do you have? What's that average look like? But I think if you're St. Louis, if you watch that, there were a few times where Devo challenged the puck in the boards and came out and won it. And those are the things where here in Springfield, look, I don't know how long Devo's here. While we have him, we need to win some games. Because I do think once he gets called up, he'll be there to stay. And if he keeps winning, the goals we know will come. He's a goal scorer. That stuff will come. He's going to manufacture points. He's going to set up other players for assists and things like that. Winning pucks against the boards that, he's initiating the challenge and he's coming away with it. Those are the things that if you're St. Louis, you want to see. So I was pleased. I thought the second line played pretty well. But I'm with you. I thought that line 3, and again, if coach uses them as placeholders, that's fine. We'll use them as placeholders too. That third line played phenomenal. If they have a good practice week, I wouldn't be surprised to see them start.
Yeah, and I will say Devo reminds me a little bit of where Jake Neighbors was, because I feel like Jake Neighbors wasn't really a physical guy. He could score and pass, and now he's in St. Louis and he's fighting and he's hitting. And I'm not expecting that from Devo, but can you play a 200-foot game? Can you kill a penalty if we need you to? Can you go win a board battle? Can you knock somebody on their rear end? Yeah. And I think that if he can just add that, he doesn't have to change anything. Just add that to your repertoire. Kid's going to be money. So let's maximize his production while we can, as best we can while we still have him. So I don't know any other, I know we got fan rants. We got other stuff too that we want to get to, and I don't want to spend the whole time just hammering one game, even though it's, again, all we sort of have to work with. But is there anything else that sort of stood out or worth mentioning? I mean, I thought Leo Loof actually had a really nice game. I feel like he's playing like he's the leader of the back end, which I really appreciate. And I think I don't think he's long for the AHL either, if he keeps just plugging away and playing his game. But do you have any other sort of just general takeaways or something specific that happened that you want to mention?
No, I think we pretty much covered, like I said. I mean, at the end of the day, it was good to see, and you brought it up, Peterson battling for McGing. That clearly was a boarding call that they missed, and hey, game 1 for the refs too, so were they as sharp as they should have been? Probably not. And I think they probably would admit that. I think there were a few things that they missed.
I think this game was more physical than I anticipated it being. I mean, it's game 1. Charlotte's not really a physical team. But the after the whistle scrums, and there was just a lot of body contact, a lot of guys, like you mentioned the Wagner hit. I mentioned the Bakarchi key. There were a lot of guys getting sort of mashed around in that first game.
Hugh McGing seemed to be targeted almost. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but it just seemed like the Checkers had him kind of circled as, hey, this is our guy. When you have a chance, take it.
Let him up. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, I mean, it doesn't surprise me. Hugh McGing is a lightning rod of energy and everything like that, right? So it doesn't necessarily surprise me. He took a hit at the end of one of the periods. I don't know if it was 1 or 2. That was kind of a late little hit. And there was a little bit of a tussle kind of heading into the locker rooms, and then that boarding call. But it was good to see Dylan Peterson stick up for his guy. And that's what you need. And that's where I go back to the depth of this team and the lines and everything. And there's physicality and intensity and skill up and down the lines here in Springfield. So, after one game, it didn't go our way, but I'm not hitting the alarm.
I know. I agree
at all.
I agree.
And look, I'm excited to see Georgi Romanov too. I think he's going to be a good complement to Zarenko. I kind of had an opportunity to read a little bit more about him and NHL experience and a solid goaltender in his own right. So I'm excited to see how the threesome of Zarenko, Cranley, and Romanov kind of take shape.
A couple countrymen too, both both
Yep.
Russian. Yaroslav Modry,
Yep.
also from Russia, the assistant coach. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe there's something there. And yeah, we just hope for the absolute best for all three of them, really. I mean, I'd love to see what Cranley has. But at the same time, I kind of want, if you're going to go Romanov and Zarenko, send Cranley back down. I want him playing. You know what I mean? So I'd rather him playing every other night in the ECHL than being a third stringer in Springfield. But I don't know. That's
Do you
a
think?
discussion for another day. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Well, no. Do you think though to start the season? Because I agree with you. I think for players to develop, they need to play. No development happens sitting on the bench. But is there something for Cranley to start the season to be like, hey, earn some time here through your practice and let's see what you could really do against a really talented Springfield team? This is going to be not every night in the ECHL are you going to see the same talent that you would see here in the AHL. So put together some practices. Let's see what you got.
Yeah, I mean, maybe, but I also just don't know what like, so if we had 2 games in a 3-day weekend this weekend, or we had 3 and 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and I think that there's so much more for him to learn and grow from because practice is practice and it's important, but there's nothing like getting games.
Agreed.
When you're playing this spread out, I mean, you got to assume Zarenko on Saturday, right? And then they don't play again till I think they just have the one game this week. Oh no, they have 2. I think they go Saturday, Sunday against Hershey, right? So, you know, is that going to be Cranley? Is that going to be Romanov? Is that going to be? They're probably not going to go Zarenko both. So I'm curious to see. You talked about earning the playing time. Maybe that's the battle happening right now at practice. Is who wants the Sunday? You know. So I don't know. That's interesting. We'll have to keep our eye on it, and we'll let you know. And as always, we're happy to have you guys follow us on all our social medias. I finally did it, Matt. I went ahead and entered TikTok.
Oof.
Oh, what a pain that app is. I don't know how these kids are on it all day. And I'm a video editor, and I'm sitting there trying to edit this video. Like, this is killing me right now. Like, get me a laptop and a mouse. Instead, I'm finger futzing with this thing. It's like, good God. But anyway, we are on TikTok. Feel free to follow us. Whenever I get something that I find interesting, I'll try to post it and or TikTok it. I don't know, whatever they call it. But feel free to follow us on social media as well. We want to tell you that the SRG podcast, proudly sponsored by our friends at TDS Center for Communication and Social Learning, right in the center of Amherst. Founder and owner Teresa Dooley Smith, along with her husband Brian Smith, has spent their professional lives dedicated to children and young adults of Western Mass since 1996. The TDS staff, I was 10 in 96. That's how long they've been doing it. The TDS staff are proud to offer a variety of therapeutic interventions, direct family support, consultation services, dedicated professionals to demonstrating extraordinary level of commitment to their clinical work. They're innovators in the field of social programming, social emotional learning. They offer special programs giving students opportunities to become entrepreneurs within their own area of interest, hosting community-based learning opportunities. They really do as much as they can to help your young individuals become really the best people that they can be. So you can visit them, find out more information, TDS Speech. TD as in David, S Speech, or you can contact them at info@tdsspeech.com. Phone number is 413-835-0735. And we have our friends at MassCon United Training Center. From beginners to pro, MCU Training Center is a one-stop shop to improve your game with the top local trainers and their knowledge, skills, and training to develop programs that'll make you a better player no matter your skill level. Their small player-to-coach ratio clinics allow them to focus on each individual athlete's needs. They're right at 153 Springfield Street in Agawam, just minutes off 91. I feel bad for this plaza. I'm pulling for these guys because the Still left. What used to be Dave Soda and Pet Food City got bought out by Farmland, whatever it was. They left. My son did Taekwondo in there in that Taekwondo studio. They left. So it's
MCU's been a staple. They've been there for a while.
It's MCU and Napa Auto Parts.
That's it.
So I got faith that they're going to make it just fine. So make sure you check them out. 153 Springfield Street in Agawam. Like I said, right over the bridge from West Springfield near the Big E. 413-301-6040, mcutrainingcenter.com. And sort of a new little twist here to this segment that we have is the fan rant segment, now sponsored, but it's sponsored by our friends at Landscaping That Fits, which is awesome because Rob is such a great guy. And I know it's been a long summer. You guys have been waiting. You're like, well, how is Steve's lawn? I need to know how the lawn is. Guys, the lawn is awesome. It's impeccable. What Rob has been able to do for me this last year, again, I just moved. Yes, I bought my parents' house, but I moved and I haven't had to worry about the lawn other than mowing it at all. He's just been, he came and did a little bit like a week and a half ago. I'm like, it's like late September. What are you doing? He's like, nope, you got to have this to get ready for the spring. I'm like, all right, bud, I trust you. I can't tell you how great of a job that Rob has done at my property, my house, the Forney compound. And again, for me, I can't tell you how easy it is to pay. If you have Apple Pay, I can't tell you how easy this is. You get an invoice in an email. You click to see invoice. You click to pay. You double click their phone. They take a look at your face, and boom, you've paid. So there's no writing checks and putting stuff in the mail and getting stuff in the mail. None of that. It is as simple and easy as it gets. And again, my lawn looks great. If you need to get aerated this fall, I know the weather has been so terrible. You don't think about your lawn, but there's so much spring cleanup. I know the leaves are coming, and I'm dreading it if they're not already here after the windy weekend we had. Rob is a guy that can help you with all of that stuff. Whatever your yard needs, Rob's your guy. 413-847-0338. Landscapingthatfits.com. Follow them on Facebook. Follow them on social media. Follow Rob on Instagram. He has a handle that's just, I think it's called Rob and Boomer. And it's just every game he goes to, he take a picture with Boomer and he puts it up on his Rob and Boomer Instagram. It's great. So thank you to our friends at Landscaping That Fits and Rob for not only making my lawn awesome, but for sponsoring our fan rant segment, Matt, which we can hop right into.
And with that, let's get into it. Fan rant. I want to start with this one from our friend, and thank you again, as always. You know, it's our first one of the season. Got 20-something comments to go through. We can't get through them all.
I was pretty good turnout, though. I will say, I'm
great
turnout,
and I love
Thank
to
you
hear
guys.
It. Love to hear it, and I love to, you know, if you guys notice something, put it on our socials so we can discuss it. It also gives us different perspectives too on some different goings on of what happens in a game. But Justin Ulig, thanks for commenting. My biggest takeaway from the game was number 4, Lindstein. I thought he looked great, and I couldn't help but notice his gameplay on every shift. I want to combine that with our buddy Daniel Flynn, who helps out with some of our graphics on our fan rant. Thank you, Daniel, for that boomer. He wants to know, which new member of the team did you both like just from observing this opening game? So I wanted to read both of those because for me, Daniel, my 2 players that sort of stuck out to me were new guys, Theo Lindstein on the defense and Chris Wagner on offense. I think those 2 players can be special. I think they were good. Lindstein had a chance in the first period on a breakaway I talked about earlier in the show. It looked like he went high and just missed the net. But if we can get offensive production from a young defenseman, like that's great. So he did not seem out of place. He did not clearly not afraid to start the rush and bring the puck up into the attack zone. And I liked Wagner. Again, I am, fair or not, expecting him to fill that Mackenzie McEachern goal or void, right? And after one game, mission accomplished. I thought he seemed more physical than McEachern. McEachern to me was always like, you know, things he does after the whistle to get under your skin. A savvy veteran was Mackenzie McEachern. Skilled, absolutely, but just like that savvy veteran guy. One extra elbow, one extra chirp. Wagner he's going to work, and you know, that's what he did in Colorado when he was up in the big leagues. And so I'm really excited to see those two new players. I think they played really well opening night.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's Lindstein, who I thought was really good. I found myself kept going. Who is 18 again? Oh, that's Uri Pekarczyk. Oh, okay, it's Pekarczyk. It's Pekarczyk. Like I said, he got lit up early in the game as sort of a welcome to the league moment, but you could tell with that shot that it's there. I think that he will. I think he's going to turn out to be a really nice player, and I don't think he's going to take him a lot of time. The other player, this is a terrible way to answer your question, Daniel, whose stock has been going up after one game. It's Susiev, who didn't play, because I'm looking at that third line and I'm seeing Pekarczyk and I'm seeing Stützle, two young big boys, and it's them two and Cale Kessie. Yeah, I like Cale Kessie, and quite honestly, I'm terrified of him. But personally, I'm terrified of him. But wouldn't it be nice to see this other 20-something who skates like the wind, has, I think that should you put the three kids together? I don't know. It worked out well last year when it was Silvergard and Kaskamaki and Devo.
Yeah.
Right. So try it again. Put it on your fourth line. Susuyev, Pekarczyk, Stützle. See what happens. Would be my move.
It's not a bad idea.
Not that that's what I had on my edit line sheet that we made last week, because it is, but I'm sort of sticking to that.
But for as sparingly as he used Kessie, to your point, why not? And if I guess it's all based on the feel of the game and what you think you're going to need from that fourth line. But you are not, and I mean this no slight to Kessie, because I'm with you. I'm not.
Nope,
I don't want
terrified.
Yeah.
Nope.
You're not putting him in for offensive production. So why not? Yeah, that's not a bad idea, Steve. I like that.
Yes. All right. So thank you to Daniel and Justin. I had one that I wanted to address super quick because I don't want to spend too much time on it. And it is Tariana.
Yep.
Who says she says the production seemed really off during the introduction videos and the player announcements. Nothing against you, Steve Forney. Sure, Tariana. As I'm sure it got difficult for you as well. You're always amazing at your job. Thank you. You'll have to tell me. So I don't think people realize what I miss, what I don't see, because I'm doing what I'm doing. And so we had it set at 7 seconds. I was going to read each player 7 seconds. Eventually I was like, well, they have to at least, I want to see them come out of the smoke, right? They have like the smoke tunnel. So I'm like, from where I am, I'm like, I'm not going to get to the next name until I see them coming out of the tunnel. At the same time, we had God Bless America, national anthem. We had a moment of silence, a moment of celebration. We had 2 puck drops. And I'm like, we got to get this game on before, I think the time listed was 6:13. I'm like, we got to be puck drop at 6:13. So I can't just do this all day. So I tried to balance my timing. I thought that LED video thing that came down was awesome. From what I gather, that was up all game, wasn't it? It was up flashing and showing stuff like all game, I think, which is really cool. So I'm not sure what other people saw that they maybe didn't like or thought was a little sluggish or sloppy. We had a problem, like the Zambonis took an extra lap, which delays, Boomer comes out on the ATV. Like, I know these are things people don't think about, but, if the Zamboni's not on time, Boomer can't come out, which affects our opening video, which affects the time the team comes out. Like, it all sort of works encompassing with itself. So it was game number 1. We tried our best. I thought it was pretty kick-ass, but maybe
I didn't.
You know what? I'm just glad I got through it.
Yeah.
And that's why I missed the first goal, because I'm sitting there going, woo.
Yeah.
My job's done.
It's a lot. It's a lot for sure. There were 2 things, Steve, 2 more things on the fan rant I wanted to touch upon. A lot of you commented on defense, shots. We get all that, and I don't want to make it.
Looking
she's
at
not
you, Lynn.
wrong.
No, I know.
Yeah, she's not wrong, and a few other people commented that as well. I agree, but again, it's one game, so I don't want to overkill there. Rick Greenway or Greenaway,
yeah,
and Sam Robinson. You guys had a back and forth, and I want to touch on this. Rick, your point was goalie, too many rebounds, not securing the puck. Losing Ellis is a huge blow and is going to be an issue for the T-Birds this season. I would agree. I do think there were some opportunities where the puck got away from Zarenko a little bit, but none of those were the reason, like none of those led to a goal. I talked about the 4 goals and kind of the breakdown of how that happened. Point taken, though, I do think puck control, it's kind of always been a thing with Zarenko. But then the back and forth, and I just want to clear it up. As I understand it, Rick and Sam, Colton Ellis is under contract with the Sabres. He is not at all a part of the St. Louis organization. What we talked about last week and the window that's there, that I don't think either one of us are necessarily expecting to happen. And like I said, it's about the players who are in the locker room, not those who are not in the locker room. But how it could play out when the Buffalo Sabres top goalie returns from injury, the Sabres will have a decision to make. Are they going to carry 3 goalies, or are they going to send Colton Ellis, or I believe it's Alex Lyon? Is that correct, Steve? Correct me if I'm wrong there.
Yeah. I think that's him. But if that's him, that's the guy who beat us in the Calder Cup Finals and then gave everyone the bird. So I'm not a fan of him.
So the Sabres have a decision to either carry all 3 or send one down to waivers. One would expect that player to be Colton Ellis. If Colton Ellis is on waivers, the Blues can pick him up and be the only team that would be able to send him down to the AHL. Any other team, going through the waiver process, any other team could claim him, but he would need to remain on their NHL roster. If I understand it correctly, the Blues, because the Blues had the initial rights to him under contract and it was a 2-way deal, the Blues would be the only team that could send him down without having to clear a second round of waivers, as I understand it.
Right. And to, I guess, pee in everybody's pool, why would they do that? Why would Buffalo do that? You're going to, if you send him down, you're losing him. Because St. Louis Springfield's going to claim him. So you send out Alex Lyon, he'll pass. And if he doesn't, you just sent down Georgiev. So like that's why the Colton Ellis signing to me at the beginning from Buffalo is like, what are you doing? Like you have 3 goalies. You have 3 NHL roster caliber goalies. Why are you taking this guy? And Alex Lyon will clear waivers. Colton Ellis will not. And that's why I just don't get your hopes up. Don't sit here on a wig and a prayer, because I don't think it's going to happen. Georgiev cleared waivers. Lyon's going to clear waivers. Colton Ellis is now Buffalo's backup, and that's how it's going to be for the foreseeable future, unfortunately.
For us, not for him, though. Congratulations to Colton Ellis. He earned it and deserves it, and it's unfortunate that it played out the way it did for us.
Right.
But that is the way the cookie crumbled.
Agreed. Real quick, Rick did say a goalie, too many rebounds, securing the puck. That's really nothing new for this. I mean, nobody gave up more rebounds than Malcolm Subban. I mean, holy smokes. So, that I think that's all part of playing. My only thing with Z is he loses the stick a lot.
Yeah,
he does seem to lose his stick a lot, which is interesting. But I don't blame 2 of the 4 goals. I don't blame him for. Even that one, that bleeder that got through the shoulder. And I know everyone's on the fan rant saying, well, he's got to hug the post. He's got to hug the post. I know, but Bushinger's got to get the possession of the puck first. And if he does, then that never happens. So I think that after that game, the defense owed Zarenko a steak. And you don't always say that when you give up 4 goals, but I think that was very much on the plate of the defenseman. So
I think I do want to read one more fan rant, but to kind of put a pin on this Zarenko thing.
Sure.
I think too, we are a bit spoiled where like a lot of those mishaps of, Bushinger, for example, not controlling a puck. And I really don't even think, even if he didn't clear it, I mean, it literally bounced over his stick right to that winger who shot it.
Who fired it? Yeah, immediately.
Right. So even if you just gain possession of that puck, that goal probably doesn't happen. But, of years past, Hofer, Ellis last year to an extent, or not to an extent, Ellis last year, period, like bailed you out of a lot of those mistakes. You have to play complementary hockey if you want to be successful. If you don't have a top 3 goalie in the AHL, which I think Ellis would have been, Zarenko is not. Facts, right?
At the moment,
Zarenko is not a top 5 goaltender in the AHL. So you have to be able to play complementary hockey, and you have to be able to play. Zarenko will make his saves. We know he can. He will, right? But when you have an opportunity to possess the puck in your D zone, you've got to do that. When you have an opportunity to clear the puck, you've got to do that. And when Zarenko is faced one-on-one with a breakaway, how many times has he shut down Providence, or even Hershey for that matter, on those breakaways of years past? Like, I remember those saves, and you're just like, there's Zarenko. We know he can do it. It's within his game. You just have to play more complementary hockey, because I don't think you can just rely on a goaltender playing on his head night in and night out.
Agreed.
Like we did towards the end of last year. Last fan rant I want to read, Bobby Florio. I know it's only game 1 of this long season. The start of the first period was horrible, but as the game went along, they started clicking. Being down 3-0-2 to lose 4-3 is saying something. They fought hard, and it showed. Some shots were high, literally right in front of the goal against once again, and it's only game 1. So I just wanted to highlight, I mean, and what can you do? He's literally 7 feet tall on skates. Like, it's just incredible. You got to make him move more, and
that's what you got to figure it out.
Yeah,
he's not the only guy 6'8" you're going to face. Belleville's got one. Hartford's guy is 6'6". Providence has got a big goal. You got to figure it out. Like,
and that Hartford goalie was the goalie who shut us out New Year's Eve, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
No, you're right. I mean, you gotta figure it out.
You do. And I think that comes from, as we talked about at the top of the show, lateral movement in the zone. And, you come down on a 2-on-1, can you make a move? I mean, can you complete a pass for a shot? But maybe it's a pass and then a give and go pass back. There has to be some sort of lateral motion. And that's why just speed in general. That's why that slingshot on the power play infuriates me so much, because you have 4 guys standing still. One guy's got the puck, 4 guys are standing still. I want that puck in the zone quick with 4 guys chasing it, not standing at the blue line waiting for somebody else to carry it in. So the slingshots bothered me for a decade, and they're going to have to figure something out. But yes, he's 6'8". You got to figure something out. And I know what he's talking about, because there were some grade A opportunities that were just skied high. And I think it's because if you're a 7-foot goalie, your initial reaction is to go down. Yeah. And if he goes down, you can't shoot at anything. So you got to shoot up. And I think that's just sort of what it is. But yeah, they're going to have to figure it out, because there's a lot of tall goalies, and 6'8" goalies is not rare anymore. By the way, I walked past that Cooper Black before the game in the tunnel, and I looked up and I'm like, oh, you must be the goalie. Because, like, holy smokes, that guy is freaking huge.
Yeah.
And he's only 220 pounds, which sounds like a lot, but when you're 6'8", that's not really that much. Shaq was like 350. So
yeah.
It's something they're gonna have to figure out. They're gonna have to work on. So, but all good stuff. We really appreciate all your fan rants. And again, our fan rant segment sponsored by our friends at Landscaping That Fits. Make sure you give Rob and those guys a call at 413-847-0338. I say those guys. He does it by himself. The guy works by himself. He's an animal. So there we go. Looking ahead, we have a little break. And again, my computer from 1997 is a little slow. So we have 2 against Hershey in Hershey, Saturday, Sunday, which I think there's going to be a lot to learn, a lot to be had from that game. We do have the Wednesday game at Hartford. Matt, you want to go to the game? Let's go to the game Wednesday night. Let's totally ruin our Thursday and go to the game in Hartford on Wednesday.
I'm in.
And then they play Friday and Saturday. So you're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games in a week. So they're gonna come, right? They're gonna come hard, they're gonna come fast. Our shows are gonna have a lot more stuff to talk about as we get more games. Real quick, 6:00 start, Matt. I don't know about you.
I liked it.
That was awesome. That was awesome.
Yeah.
7:00.
I liked
first intermission, home at 9.
No, I liked it. And again, I know it's not everybody, mixed reviews. I liked it. I'm not going to complain about it. With 2 kids who love to come to games, it's sometimes a pain in the neck getting them home late. And it's like, hey, boys, you still got to brush your teeth. You still got to get your pajamas on. I just want to go to bed. Didn't have any of that. So I liked it. Looking ahead, Hershey, and I in the off season made some comments on our social media about, this is not the same old Hershey, but it's still Hershey.
It is.
Right now, they are 0-1-1 over the 2 games. They have 4 goals for, 8 goals against. And it's not. They've lost a lot of players. So they still have that, I think Skinner or Shepard.
Hunter
Shepard, right? So they still have.
What about Stevenson? They still have Clay Stevenson?
No.
Interesting.
So it's not the same Hershey, but it still is Hershey, right? There's still what I mean by that is like it's not going to be a cakewalk. You're still going to in Hershey, you're still going to have to go in and play hard. They're going to be coached well. They're going to be sound, and they're looking for their first win. So they're going to be hungry. Home crowd, it's a good fan base over there in Hershey. So I would expect 2 highly contested games, 2 well-fought games. I'm sure the fans, Hershey's got a kind of a new roster, right? So I don't think they feel the sting of Nikita Alexandrov as much. If you remember last year in Hershey, Nikki had those 2 late goals to tie it up. They ended up losing in overtime, but you have to come away with points in Hershey, I think. And you got to get on that sort of point board there.
And yes, they Hershey. This is why Hershey's Hershey, because you still have Miroshnichenko and Smallman and Rubinski and Kristall, but you've added, and Ethan Frank is back.
Yeah.
But you've added Luke Toporowski, who's been around, and you added Louis Belpedio, and you still have Aaron Ness. They added Callie Rosen, who we know well.
Yep.
So the guys that they've been bringing in are guys that have been around.
Yep.
By the way, who's the goalie? Because they still have Stevenson. Is that what we said?
Yes.
Yeah. So they still have Clay Stevenson, 6'5". So again, you got another big guy. The other 2 goalies I've never heard of: Antoine Keller, Garen Bjorklund. Never heard of either of them, but the staff, a lot of the staff is the same. So you got it. You know what you're getting. You go down to Hershey, you know what you're getting. You better, strap them up. Get ready.
I think you have to come away with points at some point in this little mini road trip here. These 2 games in Hershey. Feel good about the beginning, the start to the season. And we talked about this too. With only playing so sparingly, 7 games in this month, you don't want to dig a hole that you got to try to climb out of. So let's get 2 games. Let's get some points, and we'll have some smiles on next week's episode.
Let's hope. I'm excited. We want to thank everybody for listening and tuning in, commenting, sharing, liking. If your friends go to games, tune them in. It'd be great to have more listeners, more people interacting would be awesome. We want to thank everybody that came out. I've sort of said this on social media. This is my 11th season doing this. And all of you people that come to games and cheer and say thank you and get into it, I love you guys. Like, I really do. Like, it means so much to me to have this job that I love, but also just have the support of all of you. It just means so much. So thank you for that. The first game of the season, always, it's like that refresher of like, holy smokes, I can't believe I get to do this every day. And that's really how it feels. So thank you. And we want to thank our friends at the TDS Center for Communication and Social Learning up there in Amherst, Teresa Dooley Smith, is the founder there, and they're doing amazing work for kids. They're at tdsspeech.com, 413-835-0735, and by our friends at MassCon United Training Center right here in Agawam. Soccer, lacrosse, baseball, golf, hockey, floor hockey, field hockey. They got any sport, they can meet your needs. I don't know about cricket, but most of the other ones they can do. So check them out, 413-301-6040. I muffled that one, 413-301-6040. I'm having a hard time with my words today, which must have gotten it all out on the weekend. MCUtrainingscenter.com. So thank you to them. And Landscaping That Fits, Rob, thank you. It's nice to have Rob back supporting the show, sponsoring our fan rants. So we appreciate you, buddy. Thanks.
That's it. Yeah, thank you to our sponsors. Thank you, our listeners. Tell a friend, share with a friend, like, subscribe, all our stuff. And we love the comments. Tell us what you agree with, what you disagree with, what you like, what you don't like. We love to hear it, and we love to discuss it. As always, 2 big games coming up in Hershey. Let's go, T-Birds.